woke up at 11 this morning, needing to leave the apartment. So I was going back and forth between reasons why I should leave the apartment and at least go for a walk to the mailbox, at least. Or reasons why I need to stay indoors and be a couch potato. 3 hours later, I finally forced myself to get up and shower, do makeup, and I came to the conclusion that I'm not gonna do either. You ever have one of those days? Let's be real, it's COVID, prenatal depression, even regular depression for those of you out there who are struggling. I'm gonna hang out on my porch. That's what I'm gonna do. If it's the best that you can do, it deserves a little pat on the back, okay? So, yeah. I'm gonna take this opportunity to talk about this thing that my husband thinks I am. It's called a hypochondriac. I'm gonna have to do some Google searching on this because I don't know the exact definition. But I do want to just explain why my husband thinks I have this thing. I also want to talk about why I believe I have chronic vertigo. In my last video, I mentioned briefly that I developed chronic vertigo when I moved here to Virginia. So I'll have that video linked in the description if you want to check that out. But yeah, I'm just gonna talk about that and relax a little bit out here on the porch. I gotta say, that was super relaxing. But right now, what I want to do is search on the interwebs what exactly it means to be a hypochondriac, as well as what the heck is this chronic vertigo thing that I'm talking about. Okay, so first definition that pops up here on Google is a hypochondriac is a person who is abnormally anxious about their health. Let's get a little bit more specific. According to the Mayo Clinic, which is always my go-to, hypochondria, obsession with the idea of having a serious but undiagnosed medical condition. Hypochondriasis usually develops during adulthood. Symptoms include a long-term and intense fear of having a serious condition and worry that minor symptoms indicate something serious. A person may frequently visit or switch doctors. Let's take a look at symptoms. Anxiety or panic attack. Fear of catching a disease. Or paranoia. Compulsive behavior. I don't know about that. Dizziness. Repeatedly going over thoughts. Okay. A sensation of pins and needles. You guys do this where all of a sudden you find something on the internet and you're going down the list and you're checking off everything and like, oh my god, I'm glucose. I have a gluten intolerance all of a sudden. Treatments. Stress management and relaxation techniques. Okay. So my husband believes I'm a hypochondriac because, yeah, for a while there, when I moved here, I had all these symptoms that were directly caused by my anxiety and depression that I would want to label. I would want to call it something specific so that I didn't sound like a crazy lady, So I'd Google these symptoms I was having when I very damn well knew that it was related to my anxiety. Like, I don't know why I do this to myself, but I do that I'm not so much anymore, to be honest, but yeah. Next thing you know, I had hypoglycemia. Before I was diagnosed, I seriously thought I had a brain tumor. Yeah, maybe I am, but whatever. I feel like I've kind of fixed it. So now when I do experience a symptom, right away, I don't even Google my symptoms. I just know, hey, this is your anxiety kicking up again. You know what to do. I tell myself that. That's the one thing that I've learned to do. Chronic vertigo. Chronic vertigo. Let's see, where's my Mayo Clinic? There we go. Dizziness that creates a false sense that you or your surroundings are spinning or moving is called vertigo. Yes and yes. Why I think I have chronic vertigo. Shortly after moving here back in October of 2019, it caused all sorts of anxiety, which led to actual physical issues that I was having that needed to be treated at the hospital, such as my kidney infection and liver infection, which were pretty mild, but still, it scared the heck out of me. After getting, while I had a kidney infection, I was given some very strong, actually, the doctor who saw me called it very aggressive type of, and I can't speak, antibiotics. So these antibiotics were called Cipro something. They were too strong. I had an allergic reaction. I could not walk. I had such severe pain in my joints and God knows what else. And unfortunately during this time, my husband was not around to help. He had to be away for training and I had to drive myself to the hospital, which luckily is literally across the street from these apartment complex. Took me in and they're like, no, we're gonna get you off of these antibiotics. You're gonna have to wait a little for it to be flushed out of your system, and then you can start taking these antibiotics. She gave me some other that I can't remember, but they weren't aggressive at all. They were much, my body was able to handle them, and it did its job. It cleared the kidney infection. Now, I believe the second to last day before I finished going through the medicine, that I started experiencing dizziness. And at first it was like, for like 30 minutes, I felt dizzy. And it started off very, very slow. The next thing you know, it would last hours at a time, and then it turned into an everyday thing. So this was happening, like mid-October of 2019. I have been dizzy since then, 24/7, and it has not gone away. At the time, I did go see a doctor about this because it made me really upset. BVVP, I think? Yes, benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. Basically, episodes of dizziness and sensation of spinning with certain head movements, which I thought I had. I was pretty certain I had, but that was ruled out by the doctor. I went for a follow-up appointment because the doctor sent me home with medicine, over-the-counter medicine for dizziness, which, by the way, the first side effect listed on the dang bottle was it may cause dizziness. What? This is a medicine that's supposed to take that away. Whatever. Went for my follow-up appointment. I let the doctor know, hey, this isn't helping. It's gotten worse since my last visit. So he referred me to an ENT. An ENT is an ear, nose, and throat doctor. They ruled out anything wrong with my ears, nose, and throat. They performed, the hearing test was not scary. It was I don't even know what it's called, and I don't know if I'd be able to find out what it's called, but basically they blow hot air and cold air into your ears. And from what the doctor was explaining, it is to figure out if things are working properly. So if you get normal results, then everything's fine in your ears. So I had normal results, but that was so scary. It very much it was probably the dizziest I've ever felt in my life when I took that test. The doctor had me laying down, and there was bars on the side of the bed, and she said, "You're gonna get really dizzy. Like, these bars are here for you to hold on to because what happens to a lot of patients is they feel like they're gonna fall off the bed." I'm like, oh great. Was not expecting it to feel like a legit roller coaster. I was falling, and I held on. I didn't even hold on to the bars. I held on to the doctor for dear life. And she said that was fine. She's like, "That's totally fine. Like, don't be embarrassed." And I'm like, oh my God. You know, I'm holding on to her because I feel like I'm gonna literally, like, I don't know, freaking spin out of the bed and fall on the ground. Yeah, never again. Never again. They ordered to get an MRI for me and referred me to a neurologist. So that was the next step. By that point, I gave up. And that's a problem I have. I did this in 2018 when I was diagnosed, and they were trying to treat me with medication, and I refused. I didn't understand that this is a process, you know. This is something that is going to take time. I can't get answers the next day. I don't know why, but yeah, so where am I now with this chronic vertigo that I believe I have? I've sort of gotten used to it. Being dizzy 24/7 is not cool, but it's not debilitating. It doesn't really bother me most of the time. Well, it's not keeping me from being happy. Like, I can do things. I still have 2 arms and legs, and I'm perfectly healthy. Like, maybe there will come a time when I'll want to look into it, just because I do also have that other thought where, well, it could get worse with age. The fact that I didn't experience any vertigo the first time I started my antidepressant medication was a good sign. So maybe this is something that can be fixed with that. So I'm not stressing out about it. I think I am a hypochondriac, but you know what? That's okay. It's going away. I really do think so. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, supporting the struggle, you know. Be positive and try your best to smile no matter what happens.